Alright guys, welcome back to Mr. Fix's channel with another video for fixing suspension issues on the E70 X5 series. This is my 35D X5. So in this video we're going to be replacing this guy right here, the lower control arm, the front lower control arm, which is the one that causes that annoying little suspension movement when you're hitting the brake, and then the whole suspension kind of moves back and forth. So usually that is caused by these bushings that go bad, and this one is not terrible, but I wanted to go ahead and replace it. I don't know if you can see it at this angle. The lighting kind of sucks. So it's torn a little bit on the top and bottom, but it's not real terrible. And I barely even noticed it. I was actually looking at my wheel and I noticed that I had a little bit of a movement when I was hitting the brakes. And I decided to just go ahead and replace it. Alright, so this is the replacement one. It's made by Mail, whatever. I don't know how to pronounce it, but this is the HD series, so it's supposed to be like they put on the box. Not that I trust anything that I read, but better than OEM. So yeah, this is the replacement. What you need for the job is two preferably ratcheting wrench keys, 18 millimeters, and a 27 millimeter socket with the 12 point to undo the nut right here on the bottom that goes into the knuckle, and then you have a bolt that goes through the subframe, K-frame, whatever you want to call it, subframe. It goes through the frame, goes through the control arm, and then there's a nut which is kind of hidden by all these plastics right here. So you can remove them. It's actually preferred that you remove them so you can see what you're doing. I already know where the nut and bolt is, and that I can fit the keys without removing these. I am probably gonna free up the lower part of the fender liner right here with these two 8mm screws, so that way I can access this bolt. I can stick my hand back in here and actually pull the bolt out when I loosen the nut on the other side, which is inside the frame here. So yeah, and the 27 millimeter nut right here where it bolts to the knuckle. So from this angle, you can see it looks like in order to remove the let me turn the wheel. In order to remove this lower control arm, it looks like you have to remove the CV axle and free up a bunch of stuff in order to actually get it out. But I'm gonna show you in this video that this is not true. You can actually replace this lower control arm with everything, all the suspension in place, without you having to remove anything else but this control arm. So let me go ahead and get started and show you how to do this the easy way. Alright, so I got this nut removed, loosened already. I forgot to mention that it does help to have impact. Makes the job a whole lot easier to remove this nut right here. But if you don't, then you can still do it. Problem is, a lot of times if you don't hit it with the impact, what will happen is this will start spinning inside the bolt joint. So then it's kind of just a pain. So unless you have a 27 millimeter wrench key with the 12 point, then you can use that, and you can put, I think it's a T, not a T, a hex, 6mm hex that you can stick into the bolt itself to hold it in place while you're loosening the nut. Other way of doing that, if you do not have a 27mm key, just like me, because I don't, what you could do is get like a really big channel locks, and you can kind of grab and squeeze the lower control arm, like squeeze on the ball joint and the knuckle, to try and hold it together so the ball joint is not going to be spinning inside while you're trying to loosen the nut. Or you can stick a pry bar somewhere here, but in this location it's kind of hard. Usually if you have like another control arm or the actual knuckle that you can actually put some, like, go and have some leverage against that and push down on the ball joint to prevent it from spinning inside so you can get the nut off. So that's another way of doing that. Like I said, the best way is just to hit it with an impact, and that'll do the job. Then the next thing is getting this bolt. Show you right now. So you see there's this plastic right here. So yeah, I know lighting sucks, but to show you what I'm talking about, there is, where is a good angle to put this light? Maybe from the bottom. Yeah, so there is a plastic cover right here, but you can just kind of move it a little bit, and there's enough room to stick a wrench key in here and put it on the nut. So then you can go from the other side and do, see right there, and it's actually staying in place. And then I can come from this side and put another 18mm right here. Grab the light right there. So with the two keys, then you can just unscrew that and pull the bolt out of the way. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that and then show you how to pull the control arm out without removing anything else. Okay, so I have the nut completely loose on this side, and what I'm gonna do is just pull the bolt through. If it kind of gets stuck, what you do is just wiggle on the control arm like that to free it up, but it should come out fairly easy without any struggle. I didn't actually remove the fender liner like I mentioned I was gonna do, because I was kind of in a hurry. I have to drop the phone to do this. It's almost out. Okay, so there you go. The control arm just drops out, and this is the step that you need to take in order to remove it from over here. So now that it's free, we're gonna tap this thing to get it free from the knuckle. If you got a rubber mallet or a piece of 2x4 and a hammer, just hit it so you can get it free from the knuckle, and then we can work it out. Alright, so I couldn't get it with tapping on it with a mallet. It was stuck pretty good, so what I did is I just had the nut back in place. As you see, I put the 27 socket back on there and actually had to hit it with a hammer, give it a pretty good whack to actually free it up. So this is the part where the dealer is probably going to charge you to remove everything in order to replace this control arm, which is not true, because you can pull it out. So like I said, this was the most important part, getting the back part where the bushing is free. So now what you do is you pull the wheel this way, pull it out outward, turn the wheel out, and then you grab on the steering grab on the lower control arm, and you'll bend it like this, pull it towards you, and then twist it, and you'll see that you have just enough room for it to come out. Like, come on. Yeah, now it wants to be difficult that I'm doing this with one hand. Yeah, just like that. I mean, this is not using any force at all, and this is not damaging your CV axle. It just basically scratched the clamp. So you can see there's absolutely no damage to the CV axle, the boot, or anything else. And you can do this without trying to force it out and hitting on it. You just work it out easy. Just bend it and it comes right out. So yeah, this is how you replace it without doing all this extra work. And the new one goes in the same way. It's pretty easy. Let me show you. You can put it in one hand. Just make sure you turn it. See? Just like that. And then you can just push that back in place and push the bolt through, which is still right here. I can do that with one hand. Yep, see, all the way through. So then I'm gonna just put the nut on the other end, tighten everything down, and job well done. So yeah, you can do the whole lower control arm probably in 10-15 minutes if you know what you're doing and you have the tools. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope again that this is helpful to somebody out there, and you've enjoyed the video. So if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button for me, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and always remember to stay safe, be blessed, and come back for more videos. Mr. Fix It out.